we're going to look at together one way you can go about creating your documentation for your weekly module assignments, and then also how to go into the system and submit those in each module. 'Cause this may be a little bit different than other courses, or it is different. So I want to make sure that I'm not confusing you on that process. When we come up here, you notice we're on a screen here. So depending on how you log in, I'm not sure if this is exactly the screen you're going to see, but we'll look at a couple of options here, and just in case it's not. If you do come up to this screen, right, most of your time is going to be spent in review course. So if you come up to this screen, you see on here, one is this review course option. So I'm going to click on this option, and that's going to load me up to where I go into the section that's going to be more tailored and more tailored to me as I complete assignments, right? Because as I complete quizzes and turn them in, it's going to let me know what I need to be studying on. And that's one reason we've changed a little bit on this approach to sending in, because I want you to be practicing the things that you need to be practicing instead of just practicing the same thing as everybody else when you may not need the practice there. Right, so here's where I come up to, and this is actually the screenshot that we're going to be taking in just a minute. Right, if you don't get that screen, you may come up to, let's see a couple of other ways you can get to it here. Right, sometimes when you log in, maybe you'll come up to this screen. So if you see this screen, you can either, once you go into it, it'll come up to say continue course. But if you come over here to where it says courses and click on courses, you should see where it's going to be listed in this lead, right? So you can still say go to course. In other words, you should be able to click around and see how you can get to this. And what it's showing me here, you notice on the left menu here, it has engagement responsibilities number 1 highlighted. So this is the section I'm in. In this student account that I created, just to kind of walk us through here, I've not completed anything. So that's why you see NAs for everything. That's not what you want to submit. Well, if you submit this, this means that you haven't done anything in the modules, and that's not good. What you're going to see is you're going to see percentages for some of these modules, right? And there's a couple of screens that you can go to, so it doesn't necessarily have to be this one screenshot, but you want to use one that gives a percentage of some type for your adaptive quiz and your simulation. So multiple choice and simulation. And what we're going to do with that, so that's what I'm going to look at. So this is part of your assignment. Each module has 2 units. So for module 1, it'd be unit 1 and unit 2. Right, so we're just going to assume I've worked in here a good bit. And that's one of the things I want you to kind of detail out is, how many problems did you work? This is what I ran into trouble with. Right, I'm not just going to look at this and say, is that 100 or it's, that's your score? Is this a 80? That's your score? No, I want you to explain to me, what you learned from the experience. So part of it may be how many you're working, and I want to see progress over the period because this is to help you. But I'm not just going to look at one number and say that's your score. So don't fall into the trap of, we all can learn how to make those numbers look higher than what they really, amount of information I'm learning from the module. So don't do that. In fact, that's why the assignment's set up like it is. So part of the assignment is to take screenshots. So I'm going to have a screenshot here. So if you're not used to that, what I did here when I'm on the screen, I hit print screen. And then I opened me a Word document here. So when I opened the Word document, I came down here and I pasted what was on my clipboard. Right, so that's what you're looking at. What we saw there on the screen is here. So that's first part of the assignment, is let me see what's there so we can take note of it. And then I want you to kind of spell out, just as important, what did you do? So it says, you do not need to use this exact wording, right? But I just wrote down a few things to kind of get my ideas in writing there for you. But just kind of talk about, my adaptive quiz, which is a multiple choice, looks like my last attempt was this, or if you use the screenshot that shows an average, right, here's my average score. Here's what it is for the simulation. And for this module, here are the things that really came easy to me, and I don't think I probably need to review that much more before I would sit for the exam. And just as important is these are some things that did not come as easy to me, or at least according to the system, it's noting that I need some more work here. And what are those items? And so I'm going to make a note on my overall CPA review process or plan that I'm going to go back and look at this again. So what I wanted you to do is show me, we need to document that you are making progress in the learning program, and also that you're reviewing and analyzing what you've done. So I'm not looking for perfection. If it's module 8 and we're still in as low as we are here, I would just say we might have a conversation, just try to help you see if I can provide some advice or suggestions. But at the same time, if the subjects in that module just seem to be harder, then that might be the reason. Right? With the CPA review, depending on which unit you're in, it may come more natural to you than other units. And it's not necessarily 10's harder than 1, depending on our thought process, right? It could be anything. So that's what I want to see. I just put my label here on my Word document, put my name here. I took my screenshot for Unit 1, and I said, okay, here's the discussion we're going to have. Right, and then I come over here, do the same thing for Unit 2. So I've gone over here, I've worked through everything in Unit 2, and now I'm near the end of the module, so I want to send this in. Same thing, I'm going to take my screenshot here, and I'm going to come here, and I'm going to put my screenshot, Unit 2 dashboard screenshot, and then I'm also going to make similar comments, right? This is what really came easy to me. This is what I need to probably concentrate on moving forward, and that's important to note. Right, there's you hear a lot of advice, obviously, with CPA exams, but one thing that stood out to me when I started reviewing, and I think it really helped me, was might not make sense, and that's the fact that the harder you make your review, the easier it's going to be, not easy, but the better you're going to be able to perform on the exam. Right, because any type of review program, and GLIME's one of them, you can go in here and you can tailor these quizzes. You can look around at some of the resources, right? And you can kind of make them make you feel good about yourself by only selecting those areas that you're good at. And you're going to score high on your review exams, and you're going to get to the exam and you're going to walk out surprised that you did not do well. And the reason is it's better to get your headaches when you're reviewing, and that way you're reviewing what you need to. Right, so we're on this one. Let's click on this. I'd already been in there. That's why I wanted us to continue. But just to make sure you see where we're looking at here, right? You can look at a book outline. You can also watch videos. So if you're hadn't seen the videos, these are what we're going to concentrate on, especially after the first module, right? Because it has some professionals here, and I really like what they share. It just lets you understand some things that are going on. Right, so you're going to watch some videos there, and you can also review some of the text material or outline information, right? You can see here's some outlines that are going to help you, hopefully, as you concentrate or go through the book. The book's good to get information. The videos are great because they can, help walk you through and talk you through, but there's no substitute for working questions. So don't kind of fool yourself into thinking, well, I can follow the videos, I'm going to be perfect on the exam, right? Not necessarily, right? So, you're on this screen, you can go back to your learning here, which takes you back here. You also see some audios. They have some flashcards, depending on your thought process. I've heard people say this help, and others say, no, that's not. It doesn't really help them a lot. So again, it's finding what works for you. What works for somebody else may not work for you. But you can see here how each of those interact with each other, right? So when we was on the watching the videos, it's one of the things we could do here at the bottom of the screen. We could go back to our testing. And as I mentioned here, that's when you're going to be able to take your adaptive quizzes and your simulations. So they call a quiz, that's really your multiple choice quizzes. But you want to get practice doing both, because some of the tests have started including more simulations. And that's really where it just asks you to do, some routine task or write something out. So if you haven't started reviewing that, that's a good thing to review. All right, so I know I keep going on about that, but get you kind of um, worked into that. All right, so you can see that's what I want you to get from the exercises each week. So now that I have my document made here, what I'm going to do now, you say, well, it's the end of the module, so it's Sunday, or I've done as much as I'm going to do for the week. So I'm going to go into our course here. Hopefully this is how you see it here. Module 1, I said, well, this is where I'm going to put my Module 1 work. So I'm going to click on Module 1. I'm going to scroll down here, and you notice here's my assignment. So I'm going to click on my assignment. Obviously it says I've not attempted it yet. So it just gives us some more information about this. Uh, and, for our course, I said this, just submit what you have, because that way I can see what you're doing. I'd already went into here, so that's why it says continue the last attempt. If you haven't, it's just going to say start the attempt. So I'm going to click on this screen or this button. It's going to take me to the screen, and each week you're going to have the same question or same item, and it says please upload your document with the requested information here. To upload a file attachment, click on the Create Link icon in the taskbar menu, then click on the Browse Repositories button, choose Upload File in the left menu, and finally locate the file you wish to upload. Right? That's one way that you could do it. I've noticed they've actually simplified here where you can add an attachment. So that's the easier way to do it. Is if we come here and we click here, click this button here, and then I'm going to go out and I'm going to find where I had that document saved. On this button, I tried to shorten the process out for us. So it comes up here, it may be on server files or recent files. Make sure you click on this thing about upload a file. And that way you can come over here and we're going to click choose file. And this is already in the location where I had it saved. So go wherever you have yours located at. So I'm going to double click this. You notice it comes up here. Then I'm going to say, well, upload the file. So I'm going to upload this file. Notice it came here. If you want to make a comment here, you can. It's to say, I don't know. Please see assignment below. And then make sure you come over here and say finish attempt. So you click on finish attempt and it comes up here and it's kind of one of those, are you really sure you want to finish the attempt? So if you want to go back and make changes, say return to attempt. However, say submit all and finish. So make sure you hit submit all and finish. So I'm going to click that and it's going to come up and say, are you really, really sure? And you say yes, submit all and finish. And you notice now you can see where it's been placed at the bottom. And if you get nervous here and say, well, did that open? You can click on that and it's going to let you open up the document. So you can do everything in review. And when you get done, just click this button here that says finish review. Right, so here's your submission. You finished it, but it's not yet graded. And that's where I'll go in a point and grade it. You can always go back in and click review to see it in the meantime. Right, so hopefully now if we come back up here, come back to module 1. Right, you see where now I've attempted it and it gives me the date so I can verify I have. All right, so that's probably a lot more than you really wanted to know, but I wanted to make sure we had a little walkthrough there on how to go about saving the documentation or even creating the documentation, saving it, making your notes, and then submitting it here. So hopefully that'll help everybody.